The City of Brisbane is Australia's largest local authority area. Its boundaries encompass 1,220 square kilometres. Winding through the middle of Brisbane is the Brisbane River. Being so divided by the river, bridges play a very important part in the daily lives of Brisbaneites. Brisbane's first bridge, a flimsy construction, connected the north and south banks of the Brisbane River in 1865. It was used for only 9 years and was replaced in 1874 by the original Victoria Bridge, a wooden structure of 1 lane width. In the Great Flood of 1893, the first Victoria Bridge was pounded with debris from houses swept off the riverbank at West End. This buffeting, together with the enormous pressure exerted by the raging floodwaters, caused the bridge to collapse. The second Victoria Bridge, of steel construction and 6 arches, was completed in 1897, providing the only cross-river link for both road vehicles and tramways. The bridge was demolished in 1969 as part of the modernisation of Brisbane's public transport system. Its closure was associated with the discontinuation of the tramways system in the city of Brisbane. This current Victoria Bridge was opened in 1970. As the present Victoria Bridge is located a few metres upstream from the second Victoria Bridge, it has been possible to preserve parts of the foundations of the 2 earlier Victoria bridges, along with one of the pedestrian entry arches from the second Victoria Bridge. The visitor can inspect this remnant, located on the south bank of the new bridge. The preserved remnant has been fitted with seats for visitors. Sections of the old tram lines have been retained also. The second major bridge site in Brisbane, linking Grey Street, South Brisbane with the North Bank, is today occupied by the William Jolly Bridge, so named in the honour of the first Lord Mayor of Greater Brisbane, W.M. Jolly, who held office from 1925 to 1931. Often described as one of the most graceful bridges in Australia, the bridge is of an unusual through-arch construction. Originally called the Grey Street Bridge, it was opened in 1932 and was renamed in Mr. Jolly's honour in 1955. Standing right next to it is the railway bridge linking South Brisbane Railway Station with the Roma Street Station. Commonly known as the Indooroopilly Bridge, the Walter Taylor Bridge, named after its builder, is a suspension structure spanning the river between the suburbs of Indooroopilly and Chelmer. Opened in 1936, it played a key role in developing the southwestern suburbs. For many years, it was a privately operated toll bridge before being taken over by the Brisbane City Council. The Walter Taylor Bridge has two particularly interesting features. The cables on which it is suspended saw earlier service during the construction of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and a residential flat is located within each of the support towers. Originally built to house the toll collectors, these flats have still been in use in recent times. The largest and most impressive of the Brisbane bridges, and a much-used symbol of Brisbane, is the massive Story Bridge, named after John D. Story, one of Queensland's most dedicated public servants, who also served as Vice-Chancellor of the University of Queensland. Erected high above the water level to allow ocean-going vessels to reach the wharves of the city area, the Story Bridge and its approaches span a distance of 1,395 metres from Kemp Place, Fortitude Valley, to Main Street Kangaroo Point. The steel structure is 782 metres in length. Construction began in 1935 to the design of Dr. J.C. Bradfield, who had designed and supervised the building of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Visitors may cross the bridge on walkways, which offer a splendid view of the city on one side as well as the suburbs of Brisbane on the other side. It is also interesting to drive under the bridge at Kangaroo Point for interesting views and unusual photographic angles. Nearby, a delightful riverside park offers excellent views of Customs House and other prominent buildings on the city side of the river. Linking the Southeast Freeway system to the city's Riverside Expressway, the Captain Cook Bridge was opened in 1973 at a cost of $7.7 million. At the time of its opening, it was claimed to be the second largest bridge of concrete box girder construction in the world. There are actually two bridges, a few centimetres apart, one for each traffic flow. They measure 555 metres from the eastern edge of the central city area to the cliffs on the Kangaroo Point bank. No walkways were provided, and pedestrians are not allowed access to the bridge. The Gateway Bridge is Brisbane's latest addition, opened in late 1985. It is Brisbane's longest bridge, at 2.5 kilometres. It had to be at least 50 metres high for ships, but not more than 60 metres high because of air traffic. Within the first month of opening, it had claimed 2 lives from people jumping over the side to their death. So, from the early convict days, Brisbane has grown to be a beautiful, flourishing city, tied together by the bridges of Brisbane.